Has the real estate market reached rock bottom? That's a great question. So in today's video, we're bringing the whole team together to talk about exactly that.
So for those that don't know me, my name is Ruth Akierman. I am part of this fantastic team of knowledge and experience. And I'm a mortgage agent with RMA Brokers and known as Just Call Ruth on all my social media platforms. Just a little reminder of when the Bank of Canada is going to, I want to say, torture us. It's been a treacherous kind of a year, but December 7th is the next big date. And we're expecting probably another 25 points. So like you said, Paul, it'll be interesting to see how the Bank of Canada acknowledges the 6.9% on inflation holding. I'm hoping that we don't see more than 25 basis points on December 7th. And then I'm hoping that we just flatline for a little bit and start to come back down. We've moved from a prime rate of 2.45% to 5.95%. That's 3.5% in 8 months. It's unprecedented and it's very painful. Okay, so those are the facts. I did a little bit of a comparison analysis when we look at monthly costs for our clients compared to purchase price. And so I just compared detached September 2021 to detached average price September 2022. I saw that prices came down about $200,000. Sounds fantastic. But with rates going up, what that means for your clients is still an increase of $1,300 a month. So, you know, the $200,000 drop sounds great, but like I always say, what's coming out of your clients' pockets on a monthly basis? How are they actually feeling about that money that's leaving? It's painful. And I know, Paul, you looked at kind of a more generalized number to this fact.
Yeah, we looked at an actual house that sold, basically 20% below what it sold at the peak. And when we looked at sort of dollar to dollar, for every price drop of $1, you paid 44 cents more in interest over a 5-year period. So, and again, I think what Jordan is saying and what you're saying is it really depends property to property and where you're at in the interest rates. But, doing that sort of mental calculation of, okay, well, now I could save a little bit. What's that costing me? And does that math make sense? And, in a lot of cases, even though it feels more painful, I think the numbers will work out. Maybe you can comment on that.
Well, clients will just have to get used to what's going on in the market. Let's forget about what happened in, February of March of this year. And let's look at what is this actually going to cost you? And can we get you into the market? Can we get you into that, get your foot on that property ladder like we're always talking about, Paul? I think it's just so important to run the numbers with somebody that's going to sit down with you, look at the big picture, and lay it all out for you in front of you so you can make the best decision for your family. Because like we've heard, rents are strong and house prices are down. I wanted to chat a little bit about what's happening with the banks because, approvals, let's say last year, were taking a little bit longer than, we would like. We're actually seeing approvals come back within 24 to 48 hours. So very quick turnarounds. I think the banks have had time to put some really good people in place when they were extremely busy. And now we're seeing also conditions of financing that's in there. So I think clients are a little bit more relaxed and the banks are, really doing a good job of getting our approvals in place. I have not seen, a tightening per se, but definitely, we're qualifying up at almost 8% now versus 5.25% at the beginning of the year. So that tightening obviously is just an issue in a whole. But if you're following all the ratio rules, appraisals are coming back, no problem. Risk has been approving my deals with proper write-ups. The banks want your business, they do. I wanted to also chat about appraisals. So you guys asked me what I'm seeing on my end. Now, for my refinance clients, I've been seeing appraisals come in low. And I think I kind of have a reasoning for this, because for my purchases, personally, I'm not seeing my appraisals come in short of what the purchase price is. And I think this is partly in the fact that my purchasers are working steadily with really great realtors like yourselves. So the price that they're paying, the price with their expectations, you guys are really reviewing past sales in the area and preparing clients really well for what's to come for that appraisal. When it comes to my refinance clients, I don't think they're reaching out to the realtors as much, because they're going by, well, my neighbor sold at X, so my house should be worth Y. And like Jordan's already said, there's many little pockets in the city, some that are doing really well, some that are not doing so well. So we are getting a little bit of a shock value when it comes to appraisals, if the clients weren't prepped really well coming to me with what their house is worth. So lots of refinances on the market right now. I am getting people that are prepped to purchase, and if the perfect property comes up, they're still jumping on it, but lots of refi, because we're getting lots of people that have been sitting back on maybe something that they wanted to get done, maybe that new kitchen, and they're just going for it. Let's get the money in place so that they can start writing the checks and getting the job done. Or they're also doing the refinance today in prep for that deposit for their next purchase. So I like to have a little bit of time on this versus a client coming to me and saying, I found a new property, I need to refinance and purchase in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, let's breathe a little bit and let's do step one. Let's look at a refi, let's get a HELOC in place, and then set you up for whatever the next step is for your future.
If I could summarize, kind of what you're saying is you're seeing lots of refis, but also people getting ready to get out there and purchase. And, so what that signals to me is, when these interest rates sort of normalize or stop going up, is we are going to see a lot of buyers out there ready to purchase.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because we are prepping for it. I still have pre-approvals in the pipeline. I still have people that are actively looking at what is their affordability and trying to figure out exactly how they're going to get it done when they find that property, when they're ready.
So Ruth, are you hearing chatter about, changing the mortgage rules, maybe lowering that qualifying rate? Are you hearing anything about that?
Now, I know, Paul, I know you'd love to see some big mortgage rules changing, and we have talked about potentially the 35 or 40-year amortization coming back. I'm getting a lot of pushback from the uppers that that's probably not going to happen. I would love for them to increase for first-time home buyers, maybe, go from that 25-year amortization to a 30-year amortization for the first-time home buyer, less than, $1 million purchase, less than 20% down payment, just to get your foot in the door. So that would be great. I would also like them to get rid of the rate +2 when it comes to our first-time home buyers as well. So let's just use rate for qualifying, or the benchmark for qualifying. But up at 8%, it's tough on the math these days for sure.
Going back to sort of upsizers, can you explain the blended rate? So let's say you're going from a smaller house or a condo up, and you are able to port your mortgage, and maybe explain that whole process of what goes on with a potentially a blended rate, because people might not understand that and realize that they can get a lower rate than what's being offered.
There's obviously a lot of math that goes along with it, but let's just say your client is currently sitting under 2%. They're in a fixed rate and they're in their condo and they want to move up. And let's just say we need an extra 100,000, 200,000, whatever that number happens to be for extra mortgage. What most banks are going to offer for that client is not today's rate at, let's say, 5.7%, they're actually going to weight it. So in other words, if they've got $400,000 at 2% and they only need another 200,000, they are going to give them a blended rate. Excuse me. So they're going to come in somewhere, let's say 3.5% on the full 600,000. Not all banks are made equal though. So you really got to ask those questions up front, which is why we try to ask them when the clients are first getting into their mortgage. Most variable rate mortgages are not portable. In other words, you're going to collapse the initial variable rate that you have in place, and you are going to come on with a new variable rate mortgage moving forward. Now, if you leave the bank, you still have that penalty. If you stay with the bank, most likely the bank is going to waive that penalty for you moving forward. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a high level look at blending, porting, what that's going to feel like for your clients.
That's really, really important then when you're doing that upsizing or looking at it. That's terrific. Thank you.
So that also sort of begs the other question. And, we get a lot of clients, that are friends, and they're like, what? So why do we go variable again? So maybe just explain, what happened sort of in the past, because I'm sure a lot of viewers are wondering,
Yes, that is, fixed versus variable. That is the big question. Okay, so why did we select variable in the first place? I've got a great list. Okay, statistically, historically, variable has been the better way to save interest with a bank. Statistically and historically. Are we seeing that right now? No. Did we have a crystal ball back then? No. We made the best decision for our clients at the time of purchase. Okay. Another big reason for picking variable over fixed is the flexibility. And I know that your clients need flexibility, Paul. You've got a lot of investor clients. Flexibility because an investor needs the ability to be able to sell and not lose all their profit margins if they so choose, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe they need to sell a property. Maybe they need to refinance a property. Now, when we refinance a property to get maximum qualifying potential, we have to break the initial mortgage that was in place, re-amortize over another 30 years again, and then we can get the most dollars moving forward. And again, Paul, your clients, a lot of investor clients looking to do maybe some renovations on the property, right? And maybe looking to do some move up for your clients, Jordan. So they're looking to do a refinance to get that deposit in place so then they can move forward with the next property. So there's two big reasons. I know at one point this year, the variable rate mortgage was qualifying at the benchmark 5.25%, whereas the fixed rate was qualifying at the rate +2. So now we're qualifying at 5.5, 5.7, 5.9, 6%, etc. So some clients were forced into a variable just for qualification purposes to get into the market. And, the way that I, kind of coached those clients was, okay, I know you want to take a fixed for these reasons, right? We can kind of go over what those are. But you have to take the variable to qualify, get into the mortgage, and then you can decide to convert from your variable rate mortgage to a fixed rate mortgage. So it was kind of a workaround for those clients, and some of them went for it. Why would a client take a fixed, right? What I have been seeing in the past couple of years is maybe a client that is in their forever home, or it feels like their forever home. They're not going to be doing anything with the mortgage. They're at the point in their lives where they're just wanting to pay down the mortgage. Those guys were taking a fixed rate mortgage. The other clients that were taking fixed was my insured, first-time home buyer, young couple, started their career, just got married, and maybe a baby on the way. And the reason why those variables really equal fixed was that they needed a fixed monthly payment for the next feasible 4 to 5 years that they could be comfortable with so that they could budget.
If you have any questions, please shoot us an email, info@thinktio.com. And please like and subscribe to this video so we'll know to make more great content like this each and every week. Talk soon.